could the administration, or if they're trying to kind of suppress or disincentivize EB-5, could they just veto it or not support its reauthorization? The answer to that is yes, they could do that. I mean, if the administration made it known that that the president does not support the program, I mean, that would be a big political problem for EB-5. There's no question about that. There's any number of levers that they could pull to make the process more difficult, both formally through legislation or whatnot, and informally. It is, in my mind, it is notable that they have not done so. And frankly, an important reason that they have not done so is that the trade association, IUSA, that represents the industry, has, I think, done effective work in educating both the administration, but also other stakeholders who either directly or indirectly benefit from or use the program. Notably, the real estate trade associations, the hotels and hospitality, other stakeholders that have a real voice, and it's not coincidental. I mean, it's why I'm up there every quarter. I mean, I spend a significant percentage of my time working on this, and that's the whole purpose of that, is to make sure that the right people, who are both in the White House as well as in Congress, and their various staff members and whatnot, understand what's really going on with EB-5. And the good news about that is that the original announcement of the gold card in February is a good example. Between then and now, we went from the gold card is going to replace EB-5 to the gold card has nothing to do with EB-5, and there's a reason for that. I mean, the reason is that the EB-5 program has constituents who made their voices heard, and got these folks to understand, both in Congress and in the White House, that EB-5 brings billions of dollars of investment capital into this country at no cost to the taxpayer and creates many thousands of jobs. And I don't know what's more America first than that, but seems like a pretty good story, and I think it has resonated. So while it's possible, it's theoretically possible. I actually think this kind of goes back to the silver lining. I actually think that the president's announcement of, and the subsequent attention that the gold card idea has gotten, has had the positive effect for the program of focusing policymakers on the whole idea of, hey, what is the right policy for why we should encourage people to immigrate versus or not. And certainly in the Trump administration, it's coming out that gold card and EB-5 are viewed much more positively than H-1B, clearly, whether you agree or disagree with the rationale for that. So my hope, and frankly my intent, over the next year to 2 years, is to capitalize on that broader audience that we now have, to ideally figure out ways to expand the capacity of EB-5 so that it can do more, attract more investment, create more jobs. That's the goal.
Yeah, Dan, EB-5 is the poster child for Congress doing something right. The EB-5 Reform and Integrity Act is bipartisan legislation that has achieved its goals. I think you might agree that to a very large extent, whatever the fraud issues that were taking over the program have largely disappeared. Not every project is successful, but as somebody who deals with projects that go bad, I can tell you there's a lot fewer of them recently than there were before. So Congress, take a victory lap on this one, and the EB-5 program is working.